I talk, you listen, or you turn the channel. Either way, I'm still going to talk. Hey, welcome to Unfiltered. They got a hover round in the paper for $1,200, man. Thinking about getting one of those. Because I'm tired. Man, 1 week at Cheshire TV. I'm tired. School board last night, and let me tell you, if that's the only thing you need is a school board meeting to whoop you for the entire week. They should have them on Mondays. Then I could rest up. But oh my God. Another presentation by the architects talking about the middle school project. And it's, I guess, 3 phases starting next year, I think, and ending in 2012. Yeah, 2012, like a multi-year project. They're planning on using the YMCA gymnasium for a while. They're planning on using the YMCA building for classrooms for a while. But none of that will be able to happen if the YMCA doesn't move. And from what I understand right now, the YMCA project in West Keene is on hold because of the high cost of everything. So I don't know what's going to happen. Meanwhile, the jail's on target to open in 2010, which, if you saw the cover of yesterday's Sentinel, what happened to it not being visible from the road? Because it's going to sit up there, this big concrete monstrosity right there on the edge of the hill until a good rain comes, and then it'll probably slide on down and park itself next to Rocky Brook. Yeah. Which will make it, I guess, quite handy for like people that are coming from out of state to visit. So they'll be able to stay at Rocky Brook and just go in. Another bad thing about the position of that jail is if they're going to put pedophiles on the side that faces 101, they get to look right down there to the miniature golf and ice cream stand. How stupid is that? I don't know. But it's really cool. It looks like a really cool operation. It's going together kind of like Legos. Little modules just come in and it's pretty much, I mean, other than the fact that they're concrete and they're not made out of metal, it's probably the same way that the International Space Station goes together. You know, put the 2 sections on and half a click or something and they mate right up perfect and everything's self-sustained. And from what I understand, I think they were talking about the Keene jail, but one of the purposes of having the modular construction like that is that there's no holes or anything. When everything butts right up, there's no holes for the pipes to go through. The pipes and everything are built right in and I guess made to just hook together. So, you know, it's supposed to be very secure and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I don't know. It may be a nice place to go and stay for the first couple months it's open. And then you could probably get all the people in one ward to try and push the buildings apart. But I imagine they must anchor them to the ground somehow. You know, the thing that really I found interesting last night at the school board meeting when they were talking about the school is a lot of the project has to do with seismic reinforcement. I think that's what they called it. For earthquakes, like we've ever had one, you know. But apparently everything has to be upgraded to withstand earthquakes. Now, I don't know if it has to be upgraded to withstand, meteors or anything like that. They should think about, strengthening the roof or something. Now that I'm working for Cheshire TV, I got a couple extra dollars in my pocket to go to Texas. So,
I wouldn't spread that around.
I mean, it's pretty much an even trade-off, but I don't have to deal with, like, people that don't act professionally. Well, let me take that back and make a liar out of myself, because I've been trying to get Chris and Randy. I've been directing No Spin.
How many professionals walk in off the street to Cheshire TV, buddy?
Well, I mean, and you can tell because of the caliber of people we actually put on Cheshire TV, such as school board meetings. Now, these people, you set them up, you put a microphone right in front of their face, and they turn the microphone and talk this way, while the microphone's pointed that way. And apparently, as long as everybody in the room can hear them, that's fine. But somebody needs to clue these people in that, there are people at home who don't like to go to the school board meetings and just want to channel surf by once in a while, and they'd like to hear what's going on. And it was funny, last night, they had the big presentation right at the beginning. And as soon as the presentation was over, the entire public cleared out. There was nobody left. Actually, the entire public and half the board members, if I remember right, kind of disappeared. So the rest of the meeting moved along pretty quick after that. So I've heard they can be grueling. And being a paid employee of Cheshire TV, Lee wants me to start doing school board meetings on the Wednesdays that they have them. So, I'll do what I got to do, and, But let me get back to Chris and Randy, because I asked Chris last night. I've been trying to get them to let me know who their guests are at least a few days in advance of the show. And I asked Chris last night at the school board meeting, Chris, who are your guests? He said, I don't know, we're waiting on a phone call. It's either going to be 2 people from the city, or it's going to be, he said, or we may have the county on tomorrow. So I said, all right. So I do graphics on Wednesday night for all the shows that I do. He didn't have guests for me, so their guests will have no graphics. But, I'm sure they'll introduce them, and I'll put them in the credits. I get a call today at 4:45 from Randy. I just talked to Chris. We've got 4 guests tomorrow. So I said, one at a time? And he said, no. Chris wants them all at the same time. So now I've got to figure out how to mic and light 6 people and fit them all onto one camera. Because we don't have, No Spin, we have no camera operators. It's me in the booth. As you've probably noticed if you've seen No Spin the last couple of weeks, it's been a little shaky. But I'm doing the best I can. And Randy and Chris, if you're watching, just book stuff out a little bit. And if you're slated to be guests, and I know a lot of people that watch this show are the high muckety muck kind of people that Chris and Randy like to have on their shows. Try and get early dates, book ahead, so that as a director, I can give you the best possible treatment on TV with nice graphics and nice lighting. If you come on last minute, expect to be lit like crap, sound like crap, and, people will look at you the next day and go, ooh, that wasn't real good. But, hey, so I'm trying to get them guys to get a little bit more professional. I do most of the work, so I'll take all the credit. I don't care. But they do have sometimes good content. Not as good as my stuff, but. And I gotta tell you, today was crazy because I worked, well, I was supposed to work 10 to 1 on Thursday because Lee knows I have to get set up for this show. And I came in at 10 and I did maybe 45 minutes worth of work. And Lee comes in and needs to sit in the computer that I work on because he's trying to install a program, an editing program, into this computer. He's on the phone to India. Yeah, because apparently that's where the tech guy is, or guys. And the guy he was on the phone with kept going, well, you do this, okay, see ya. And he was going, wait. Don't just tell me the first step and then get off the phone, which apparently is what these customer service people are supposed to do. They're supposed to answer your first question and then get off the phone. So that 10 minutes down the road when you have another problem, you call back, go into the whole waiting cycle, and end up with somebody different. Well, Lee was on the phone all day trying to get this program installed. And he still has to work on it tomorrow. So I set up this early, went home, got cleaned up, came back, and he was done on the computer to the point where I could get back in and sit down and do a little bit of Cheshire TV work so that you people can all see the programs that are made here. And I was telling him, I said, you know, I still have to work on my show. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. He said, talk about your first week at Cheshire TV. So I figured that's what I'll do. And it's been an exciting one. Last Friday we did Luca. And unfortunately, Luca canceled out on today's shoot, so we didn't have to go down and shoot him today. And then what else happened? Just learning all this stuff is just incredible. Monday I was supposed to come in and work on editing together the Luca shows that we filmed last week. And that's what Lee had left me to do. And I came in and checked all the screens that I'm supposed to check when I come in, and lo and behold, somebody had reserved the editing machine for Monday. So there was no editing done for Luca on Monday. Of course, Lee told me, you know, to work on it, and he had a sample for me to look at it, and every Luca episode is put together the same way with the same elements. And after a while of doing this stuff, especially a show like Luca's, it's a formula. And the title goes here, and then the first clip that he recorded goes here, and then you fade to black here, and then you put your next little segment in on down the line till you get to the credits. Easy, if you know what you're doing. And Lee said he wanted me to do it so I could start getting used to it. But he said, if you can't get it done, he says, don't worry about it, because I can throw it together in 45 minutes. So the man's willing to pay me a couple of hours to learn doing something that would take him, you know, less than an hour to do, which is really great, you know. And some things are easy to pick up around here. Like programming and gap filling. It's the most mind-numbing job in the world. But it has to be done. And it has to be done every day. And every day you have to go back because you have to leave blank spaces in the schedule for shows that are scheduled but you don't have yet, such as this. When I filled out the schedule for Friday, which I did on Thursday, I leave a blank spot at 6 o'clock on Friday. And then Thursday night, as soon as we're done taping, I can go back into the system, take the show, put it into the system, put it into the library, and drop it into the schedule, into the blank spot. So, and it's the same with, like if we're scheduling Monday and Tuesday. Choices and Cinemaniacs have empty spaces because they get done on Monday. So everything is, I mean, it's all scheduling, but that's fairly easy to pick up. What's harder for me to pick up is navigating around the computer where you have to be at any certain time, and the whole file, the differences in files and things like that. The producer of Sturdivant Chapel brought his little DVD in and gave it to me last week. And I put it in and tried to rip it into the system just like I rip every other DVD that Lee gives me to put into the system. It's a program called Total Import. And so I put the Sturdivant Chapel disc in and I loaded up Total Import and I tried to load it and it kept telling me the disc is messed up. So finally, the next day when Lee came in, I told him I couldn't get this to upload. It says the disc is messed up. And he says, no, it's a different kind of a file. And you don't have to upload it that way. All you have to do is copy it from here to here. I mean, and it's little things like that that are still shaky for me. Of course, editing is a whole other story because so far, basically all I've done is little basic, simple editing with one music track and one track of video that I cut and put transitions in. Oh man, and I'm pushing on, see, 16 minutes about nothing. But it's just the entire learning curve. Some things are fast, some things are slower. I'm having a hell of a time figuring out the little reservation maker and the gear checkout and check-in. It's a little bit more of a weird screen to look at. There's a lot of information on a lot of different places to click onto on that screen. So slowly it'll come. But I better get to crew call because we're missing a normal member and we have a informal member. On camera one, we have Jim Bemis with us again. Jim was at school board last night, and he said, you need a cameraman for tomorrow night? And I said, yes, we do. We can use a cameraman anytime. Because the only other person we got on camera 3 is Greg. And he's usually all by himself. And I don't know, sometimes I think you enjoy it that way.
It's fun. It keeps you busy.
Speaking of all by themselves, in the booth is Bruce, all by himself.
How's it going out there, Rick?
It's going good, Bruce. I thought I had nothing, but come to find out, I've got a ton.
You can talk on and on about very little.
Thanks.
Make it stretch.
Yeah.
But Andrea's a little under the weather tonight, so I come down here to play all by myself and see if I can't get through it without screwing too much up. But things are going pretty decent so far. I missed the opening by a couple of seconds, so I might try and kick the closing on a second or two early.
Oh, all right.
Trust me. I was
All
sleeping at the beginning. But Andrea did give me all the good notes from the weekend's race. They raced at Phoenix this past week. And was a pretty decent race, although Jimmy Johnson won again.
Oh, man. I think he's pretty much clinched the championship, I think, hasn't he?
They should already have his name on the trophy by now, I believe.
Yeah.
So he's only got to finish 36th or better, even if Carl Edwards wins the race. So he's pretty much got it wrapped up. But the top 5 in the race ended up being Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch with a heck of a good run, Jamie McMurray with an awesome run for him. Carl Edwards finished 4th and did pretty good to keep his points going. He's still, I believe, 100. Well, I got it over here somewhere. 141 points behind Jimmy Johnson. So he's looking for Jimmy to blow up on the first lap if possible. Give him the only opportunity for him to pull it out. And your guy Denny Hamlin finished 5th this past week, so he's doing all he can to hang in the points. He came up a few in the standings. Go through the top 12 right now. Jimmy Johnson still in the lead. Carl Edwards 141 behind. Greg Biffle in 3rd, and everyone after him is eliminated because there's no way that they can catch up in one race to go. But as I said, Greg Biffle, Jeff Burton in 4th, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer, Jeff Gordon, Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin in 9th. Dale Jr. came up to 10th. Kyle Busch slipped back to 11th, and Tony Stewart is bringing up the rear in the top 12. But at least he'll still finish in the chase, so that's a good thing. Finish out the year with Gibbs. He's going to start his own team next year with he and Ryan Newman. So they're going to have to race their way in to start the year off. But about the only news that we had come out this week is DEI, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated, and Chip Ganassi Racing announced that they will merge in some fashion for next year. It has yet to be announced or decided what brand of car they're going to follow, be it Chevy or Dodge, but they're going to have to come to some terms on that. I don't know what kind of support they can give each other if they're running different types of cars, but other than that, we've got one more race to go before the season is over, and we have several months off throughout the cold winter. So we'll see how it goes, but they're going to be finishing up in Homestead, Miami, Florida this coming week. So hopefully we have a good finish to the season. Beyond that, it's just been a crappy week at work. They're still busting our butts, pushing us 50 hours a week. So 6 days a week or 5.5 days a week. More fun than I like to have. But life goes on.
Yes, it
Christmas
does.
is coming. I guess a couple extra bucks ain't going to hurt. So, but that's about it, bud. I'm going to throw it back at you.
All right,
and
thanks,
have
man.
fun with the rest of the show. We're going to throw you over to camera 1.
All right. Perfect. Because I've got some mergers myself, Bruce. These mergers are happening, I believe, as we speak. Hale Business Systems, Mary Kay Cosmetics, Fuller Brush, and W.R. Grace Company are going to merge and become Hale Mary Fuller Grace. Yeah. That one's kind of stupid, isn't it? Polygram Records, Warner Brothers, and Zesta Crackers are going to join forces and become Polly Warner Cracker. 3M's going to merge with Goodyear, become Good. Zippo Manufacturing, Audi Motors, DeFasco, and Dakota Mining are going to merge and become Zippity Doodah. FedEx is going to join its competitor, UPS. They're going to actually merge and become Fed Up. Fairchild Electronics and Honeywell Computers are going to become Farewell Honeychild. Grey Poupon and Docker Pants are going to merge and become Poupon Pants. Knott's Berry Farm and the National Organization of Women are going to join forces and become Not Now. And the best one, Victoria's Secret and Smith & Wesson are going to team up and become Titty Titty Bang Bang. Yeah, that's pretty good, huh? I'm going to change camera myself, Bruce, and go to 2. How's that? Only because I'm changing stories.
Whoop, hard cut.
That's all right. Sorry, Lee. I just read this. I barely had time to sit down and read the paper, scan the paper before I came on. But in the stupid news briefs, in Jensen Beach, Florida, police arrested a Connecticut guy in a church for stealing communion wafers. Apparently, this guy ran up and grabbed a bunch of communion wafers from the priest, and some of the other churchgoers cornered him. And the article says when the cops got there, the guy was being held down by 7 offended parishioners. Yeah. And the dude was charged with, two parishioners received minor injuries in the scuffle. One of them was 82 and the other one was 61. Yeah. So you don't mess with church-going people, I'm telling you.
Well, to be honest, when I was still a church-going person, one wafer was never enough. I always wanted to ask the dude if I could have another one. So I can understand why this guy finally flipped and, went and got himself some, because even though they're kind of bland, they're,
See, I always went the other way.
To eat while you're in church.
I always went the other way. I just took the one wafer and then guzzled the wine. So they don't much care for that either. But this guy was charged with 2 counts of simple battery, theft, and
Something
disruption.
about gluttony, I think.
He was also charged with disruption of a religious assembly, being held on $2,000 bond. It's crazy. Speaking of other things in the court, the Michael Addison jury is still out. And God, I hope they find him guilty and give him the death penalty. He's the guy that shot Officer Briggs over in Manchester. Oh, okay, thanks, man. The other thing that I saw, front page of yesterday's Sentinel, the Obamas have received their Secret Service names. I guess Barack will now be known as Renegade, and Michelle will now be known as Renaissance. And I'm sure they'll have names for the kids. I didn't have a chance to read the article because it was continued on another page. But I guess the article talked about that the Secret Service names actually have a long history behind them. But for Barack to be Renegade, you would have thought, I mean, maybe he's sort of a maverick. I don't know. Or maybe they've got them all, picked beforehand, and whoever it was going to be Renegade. Whoever the president was going to be Renegade. I don't know how they pick them. And I didn't see that it said that Joe Biden had his Secret Service name or not, but I'm sure he'll have one, and his wife will have one, and the Obama kids will have one. I saw a scroll at the bottom of one of the news channels last night. Not only do we have our first black president, America now has its first female 4-star general in the Army. She works with the United States Army Materials Command, and I can't remember her name because I was in bed when I saw the thing go by, and by the time I got up and found a pen, I'd forgotten it. But I thought that was really cool, And, I mean, as I said last week, again, I mean, the gays are still on the shit list. But, women's civil rights and black civil rights in general, civil rights in general, we're going up the ladder. So things are getting better in that respect. And I think it's really cool. Bruce just gave the 3 signal. And while I'm doing that, I want to show you this. Isn't that a great shot of Arlo Guthrie? It's fantastic, man. Yeah, he's coming to Keene to the Colonial Theater on November 21st. There may still be tickets available, but I don't know. He usually packs the house pretty good. What the hell else am I going to talk about? I threw away my card. Trying to think of what else has been going on here at Cheshire TV. Oh, no, I've got what? Oh, 2 minutes to the music clip? All right. I can put a plug in. Oh, I got to say hi to Donna. Big Donna, because you know who I'm talking about, Greg. Donna Hollowell. Big Donna. I mean,
Hi, Donna.
Huh?
I said hi, Donna.
Ah, Bruce said hi, too. Yeah, as long as I can remember her, she's been known as Big Donna. Because I believe she was probably the biggest girl in all of our classes growing up through school. But she called and we were trying to get set up for the show, and I didn't really have time to sit down and talk to her for any length of time. But it's been, a couple months since the last time I talked to her, and I'm going to go over this weekend and have a little chat with her. But she wanted me to say hi. So, hi, Donna. Did I waste 2 minutes yet, Bruce?
You got 15 seconds. You could always say hi to Mike out in Colorado.
Here's one for, hey, Mike out in Colorado, too. And let me just do this real quick story, because it's from Portsmouth.
Nope, time's up.
A guy in Portsmouth came upon a sobriety checkpoint And the cops asked him for his license and registration, and he gave him his license and registration and then took off. Because he didn't want to get busted. Well, if you don't want to get busted, you take off before you give him a license and registration. He almost hit an officer, and they eventually pulled him over. He was a 32-year-old man, and he was charged with driving under the influence of drugs, possession of drugs, disobeying a police officer, and reckless conduct. They found marijuana in the car. Yeah. I mean, and probably, unless he reeked like he just smoked a joint or something, they probably would have checked his ID at the sobriety checkpoint and said, go ahead. But some of these people, they get all paranoid and stuff when they're around cops, you know. But, I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into some other stuff. I got a good joke for tonight. I've got, I don't know, I'll find something to talk about while we're watching the music clip. Tonight on the Mom's Tattoo musical interlude is the Midas Ascension.
This next one's called Blind. This is one of ours. Thank you.
All right. The Midas Ascension, local band, good group of kids. I got to read this joke. I got this in an email a while ago, and just filed it away in the jokes folder. It was about little Melissa. She came home from school one day and told her dad that she'd learned about the history of St. Valentine's Day. She said, since Valentine's Day is for a Christian saint and we're Jewish, would God get mad at her for giving somebody a Valentine? And her father said, no, he didn't think God would get mad at her. He said, who do you want to give a Valentine to? She said, Osama bin Laden. And he said, why Osama bin Laden? She says, well, I thought that if a little American Jewish girl could have enough love to give Osama a Valentine, he might start to think that maybe we're not all bad and maybe start loving people a little bit. And if other kids saw what I did and sent Valentines to Osama, he'd love everyone a lot. And then he'd start going all over the place to tell everyone how much he loved them and how he didn't hate anyone anymore. And her father's heart just swelled right up. And he looked at his daughter and said, Melissa, that's the most wonderful thing I've ever heard. And then she says, I know. And once that gets him out in the open, the Marines can shoot the bastard. God bless little Melissa. All right. Trying to think of what the hell else has been going on. I haven't seen anything about that. Of course, I haven't had a chance to watch any news at all between this job and the shows and school board meeting. And I'm trying to I thought there was something else I was going to talk about. I've completely lost it. Let me, I'll stretch some of these for a while. Stupid facts. And seeing as how Andrea's not here, I'm going to talk about snakes. Because Andrea hates snakes. Even if there's a flash of a snake in a movie, that's it for the movie. Movie never gets played in the house again. Yeah.
Unless it's Harry Potter. She'll watch Harry Potter. She knows when to close her eyes.
Oh, okay. I guess that's the whole point. She has to know at what point the snake's going to pop up and then, all right. The poisonous copperhead smells like fresh cut cucumbers. So if you're somewhere and you smell fresh cut cucumbers and you know there's no cucumbers around,
You're cruising through the woods and you smell a fresh salad.
That's it.
You
Watch
need
out.
to worry.
And it takes about 50 hours for a snake to digest one frog. It's a long time. And unfortunately for Andrea, the only continent without reptiles or snakes is Antarctica. Then you're liable to get attacked by seals or something.
It's too damn cold to live there.
It's really cold, yeah. And from what I've seen, satellite pictures, no wood for firewood. In Michigan, it's illegal to chain an alligator to a fire hydrant. Yeah. You have to chain them to parking meters. And alligators can't move backwards. Did you know that?
Cows can't walk downstairs.
That's right. Cows cannot walk downstairs. And I actually, did I do that one? Or that was Ricky Gervais from that movie. I saw him on The Daily Show. I think he said he was a big fact nut. And he actually told Jon Stewart the one about bats exiting a cave to the left all the time. He failed to mention that women who go into a department store always turn to the right. But maybe he just didn't
That's
know
where
that
they
fact.
put the women's clothes section. Isn't it?
That's probably why they put it
Unless
right
you're
there.
in Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart's kind of weird. The Great Fire in London in 1666, half of London was burned down, but only 6 people were injured. Good rescue squads or something. In Ethiopia, both males and females of the Surma tribes shave their heads as a mark of beauty. I don't know. I've seen a lot of shaved heads, and, you know, I think I'm more beautiful with the hair. Because my head would be like all bumpy and ripply and shit, you know. Welsh mercenary bowmen in the medieval period only wore one shoe at a time. And it doesn't say why, so that might be look up medieval period, Welsh bowmen, maybe it'll tell you. I mean, you've got Google, for God's sakes. Anybody with a computer. Any of this stuff you don't believe, just Google. I know. I actually saw Kathleen O'Donnell at the school board meeting. I stopped and talked to her. I said, geez, you haven't emailed me for a long time telling me to check stuff out on Snopes.com, so I must be getting my facts straight. And she said she's just been too busy to watch the show. So, I mean, I don't care if I get the facts wrong. It's just public access. I mean, if I was on a real network, I'd have somebody to check the facts for me before I said them. This is kind of weird. Children in the Chinook Indian tribe were strapped between boards from head to toe so they would have fashionably flat skulls. They must be the ones that carry the baskets on top of their head or something. I don't know. What the hell else am I going to talk about, Bruce? See, you made me put my briefcase away and I completely lost everything. See if there's anything else in here. Am I going to 2? All right. Let me talk about Talking Awe. Because if you haven't seen this show, don't bother. Look, this was my idea. I wanted to have like a late night talk show so I wouldn't have to worry about my language. You know, because I use the F word a little bit as like punctuation. And I can't use it here. So I feel a lot of my points are lost. But the other reason for the Talkin' Awe show was because every night I finish filming an episode of Unfiltered, as soon as we walk out of the building, I go, oh, I should have talked about this, and I should have talked about this, and I should have talked about this. So I figured the second show would be for all that stuff that I remembered after I left.
And you still don't write any of it down.
I don't write anything down, no. Now, we had that when we played golf last week, Bruce. I was coming out with some great ones. And you know, can't remember not a one of them. It's because I'm being repressed. Help, I'm being repressed. The man's trying to keep me down. And now Lee is the man. He's trying to keep me down. Now, where was I going? Talking on. But see, I wanted to do phone calls because, you know, I kind of miss having other people's input to feed off. But in my mind, the callers would be the straight ones. And I would lend the comedic element. You know, I would get serious callers on the line and then just screw with them. You know? But it hasn't worked that way so far. So far, I think a lot of the young kids that used to watch Unfiltered and call in are now watching Talkin' Awe, which is not right because it says it's for adults. So parents, if your kids are watching Talkin' Awe, tell them not to. Or beat them. I don't care. But I want some good callers. That's what I want on Talkin' Awe. I want people to call in and say, hey, what's your opinion on this? Because a lot of times, like, you know, I don't follow the news. But I can form an opinion pretty quick. You know? So, but that's the thing. I mean, I've tried to bring up, you know, what does everybody think of a black president? And all I get is racist slams and things. You know? I mean, hell, if you want racial stuff, I mean, and it's not specifically racial stuff, I've got notebooks and notebooks and notebooks full of old jokes. Jokes, I mean, timeless jokes. But you can't use them anymore because back when these jokes were made, comedy was about finding the differences in the ethnic things. So you've got Jewish jokes and you've got Chinese jokes, and the Polak jokes, Oh, I'm sorry, probably Polak is not the right word to say. Polish American jokes. But it was poking fun at the differences, and God bless the differences. This world would be such a boring place if everybody was exactly the same. It would probably be a really loud place if everybody was like me. But I'm just saying, that's what comedy was born out of, was just picking. And eventually somebody went, well, that makes me feel bad. That's not funny. But it is funny. You tell a couple of good Jewish jokes, and then a Chinese joke, and then you throw in this one. How do you tell the Irishman in the hospital ward? He's the one blowing the foam off his bedpan. Get it? Because Irish people drink. See? I didn't say they were good jokes, but they're the old. And that's a lot of comedians made their living telling those kind of jokes. And you see, still today, Jon Stewart, I can't even think of some of the other ones. David Brenner. They'll tell Jewish jokes because they're Jewish. It's like me telling hippie jokes. How many hippies does it take to screw in a light bulb? None, because hippies don't like the light. I like to smoke dope in the dark. But colors, that's why they invented acid. So people could have color in their life. At least that's what I was told the first time I took it. And there was color, all right. Ooh, baby. And I haven't taken acid for years, but I'm sure it's probably not half as good as it used to be. I don't know. But used to be able to get cartoons that were acid.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Little Mickey Mouse and stuff. A piece of paper with a cartoon on it. Cool. That's drugs? No way. All right. Hoo-hoo. They were designed for kids back then. Like chewable, chewable drugs. See, if they came out with chewable Percocets and stuff when I was a little kid, I wouldn't have minded because I hate swallowing pills. I probably could have got hooked on pills, but I don't like pills. And I don't shoot heroin because I hate needles. The fear of something keeps you from doing it. Pretty much. That's the biggest thing to keep you from doing it. Probably if the first time I ever lit up a cigarette, my hair caught on fire, I would probably not smoke cigarettes today because I'd be scared. I don't know. Let me tell you, it's kind of spooky leaving this place at night. Like after talking at 11 o'clock at night when the whole building's dark and silent, except for you'll hear a door slam upstairs or something, The noises from the basement. But they haven't bothered me, and I haven't bothered them. So, nothing on any of them damn cards. Can you believe it? Programming a gap fill-in. Yeah, that does that. But only people with stereo TVs realize it. They go, something's funny. Now it's in the gain buttons, Bruce, and Lee mentioned that to me that occasionally it cuts out, but nobody notices or nobody said anything yet. So you did because you're looking at the lights. So. Well, let's see. I talked about No Spin. I talked about Cheshire TV for a long time. And, I'm loving it. Even with the school board, I don't know. Well, That's what I wanted to talk about. The other big thing that is in the project, the downtown project for the Keene Middle School. Are you ready? Eminent domain. 7 houses. Yeah. And they're talking the houses on the same street as the school on Spring Street, the first group of houses right there to the bottom of the hill. And then I believe they're talking about, I'm not sure, the white building right across the street from the Eagles Club, the Elks Club. It used to be some kind of private club.
I know what you're talking about.
And then it almost looks like they're going to go all the way down as far as the brook, according to their site plans. Yeah, it's a crap load of houses. And a lot of those right down there on Roxbury Court are all college student houses. So, and they're talking, they may take that stuff by eminent domain. You know, that's why, after seeing that presentation last night, which is the first that I've seen of any of this, I went, build a new school. For one thing, Chris, they can build a damn mall in a year. I'm sure they could build an entire school in a year. It's not an extended long project. It's a year. I mean, Chris, if you have to change next year's school schedule around, so you start in the spring and you go till the fall, so that you can teach all your classes outdoors and not have to go into the old middle school, which will be condemned. You know, do that. Just build a new school. It seems like it would save so many headaches. Don't take people's houses away. That's stupid. Not only is it stupid for the fact that, I'm sorry, Bruce, have you been counting the number of stupids I've said tonight? 18? All right. It's just plain dumb that they're going to take away these houses, but also they lose the tax revenue once they take these houses away. That's 15 or 20 tax checks that the city won't be getting. And who pays the taxes on school buildings? Nobody. They're non-taxable, right? Yeah, and the rest of us pick up the slack. Our taxes will go up because they just wiped 20 houses off of the tax roll, and they've got to make up that money from somewhere. Think about it, people. When you're, I mean, the date is coming up. I believe the school board is going to have about 3 weeks, I think, to make the decision on this. It's a very, very short amount of time. I don't know. I just think it's, you know, not very bright to, I mean, as much as I would like to see them continue to be able to go to school at the middle school, because, I mean, that school holds history. My mother went to that school when it was a high school. I went to it as a junior high. Greg and Jim went to the junior high there. We had our first school dances in that little cafeteria. And in the renovation plan, cafeteria is gone. It's going to be a courtyard. Well, that kind of stinks. You know?
What if they threw out the 6th grade and just had 7th and 8th grade?
What are they going to do with the 6th grade then, Greg?
Throw them in all these other little schools.
Oh, they said it was going to be a burden to everybody if they did that.
See, I need to mic these guys up, because apparently Jim says it's going to be a burden to all the other schools to move the 6th grade into the respective schools, just like, you know, I mean, but didn't Marlboro School did that? No, Marlboro had all the way up to, 8th grade in their school. And then they started shipping them off to the middle school. But, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen in downtown. I think it's just going to be too much. And I don't know. Personally, you don't want a school in the middle of a downtown area. Because of traffic and, I mean, just there's so many reasons why you don't want a school in the middle of downtown. And on top of the YMCA problems that they may not be moving out, then the middle school wouldn't have the access to the YMCA for the classrooms it needs. And they're talking about using the YMCA for a gym while they build the new middle school gym. Well, when we were kids, we used to walk between the buildings for the pool, right?
Yeah.
I think we used to go to the pool. Gym class, on days that we had swimming, we'd go walk outside. Because when we were in school, it was before the overhead passaway. They finally decided that they can't have the kids going outside the building and then into another building, so they built that walkway. Yeah, but see, when I was in middle school, I wasn't into the whole taking off and skipping school stuff. That didn't come until high school. You know, I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the proximity of the stumps. And just how easy it was to go in the front door back then and right out the back door, all in 2 minutes. And speaking of 2 minutes, we've got 2 minutes. Or is that camera 2? Oh, and now we do have 2 minutes. All right, let me read a couple more of these. Coffee is the world's most popular stimulant. It's the second largest item of international commerce in the world. Yeah, probably right behind oil. Oil and coffee. But, wow. Too much caffeine can cause heart palpitations. We all knew that. In Turkey, I'd be dead. In Turkey in the 16th and 17th centuries, anyone caught drinking coffee was put to death. That's right. Well, that's some pretty drag-ass people back then. They're trying to keep the man down, exactly. There are more brown M&Ms in plain M&Ms than there are in peanut M&Ms. I don't know why, Bruce. It just says there's more brown M&Ms. Blah, blah, blah. It's
Because they look like chocolate.
if I knew why, then the information may not be that useless. There's no such thing as a blue food. Even blueberries are purple. Yeah, yeah. And a chili pepper isn't a pepper. In fact, more than 200 kinds of chili peppers aren't peppers. And as much as 50 gallons of maple syrup are used to make a single gallon of maple sugar. Yeah. All right. Up next on No Spin, a bunch of people. I might have a hell of a time setting up for that gig there. But 4 people from the city, I think, and Chris and Randy. Tonight's clip is the Keene State College rugby team with some music and the credits. I want to thank Mom's Tattoo, Gemini Screen. Until next week. Peace.